welcome to another episode of the Always Be Testing podcast. I'm your host, DeGrange, and I'm really excited to talk to Sam McKenna today. Sam, how you doing?
Hi, Ty. So good to see you.
Good to see you too. It's been a moment.
It's been a minute.
Absolutely. We had the pleasure to be with a bunch of other LinkedIn power users in San Francisco. A special invite.
Always great.
Video that never aired.
It's in the archive somewhere. It's a cave deep under the San Francisco LinkedIn office.
Yeah, I think it's in. They use like a little old wagon to bring it down into the cellar and pull it back up. So for those of you who don't know, Sam is a sales expert, to say the least. The CEO and founder of SamSales, and she's done some amazing things. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff today.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Maybe get us caught up on just what you're working on right now. What's the latest? Quick public service announcement for those headed to Affiliate Summit East, thinking about going, maybe checking out Creator Economy Live, one of the most well-established affiliate shows in the world and the longest running. Exciting to be able to have some codes for RBL and Always Be Testing listeners for it. So if you want to go and we want to save some money, use RBL20 at checkout. There's going to be some links in the show notes. It'll get you 20% off your tickets, which will save you some money. And then if you're heading out to Creator Economy Live, enter code RBL15 to save as well there. Just wanted to let you know, we'll see you out there, and back to the show. Enjoy, and talk to you soon.
Yeah. So after spending 14 years in enterprise sales in corporate America, I launched SamSales, which is had the hope of basically being a company that would consult a few companies, let me work part-time, and make half the money I made in SaaS. I was like, this will be great. I'll go to yoga at like 10 a.m. And life will be good. And I probably should have known myself a little bit better, being very type A, disciplined, competitive, that would fly out the window in about a week. And so now we're an all-women team of almost 20 people. We've been in business for almost 6 years, over 250 clients. And we really focus on just a couple of things. So top of the funnel sales training is something that's near and dear to my heart. I think so many people just never got great training on it. They don't know what good looks like. They don't know how to prospect. They don't know how to build a process around it. They don't even know how to do a discovery call the great way, right? How to show up well on a first date, so to speak. So we train a lot on that. And I think what makes us really different there is that we focus on a buyer-centric, manners-driven approach. So how to do your research, how to show up with a point of view, how to make sure you know how to pronounce the name of the company that you're meeting with, like 101 stuff, but really taking a different approach to sales there. And then other thing that we're focused on outside of LinkedIn and social selling and all of that is building brands for execs on LinkedIn. So we really have a niche in this space. And I like to say that we really invented the full strategy and line of business around this, where we write content for executives, we ghostwrite their posts, and then we manage all the strategic administration of their back end. So just some really nerdy things there where we get to work with just titans of industry, celebrities, and Series A founders alike. But lots of momentum there, especially in this market with SEO, struggling, with influencers taking, a front seat to a lot of work. It's just been a really cool ride.
I love it. That's amazing. It's been fun to watch the progress, and for both of us, and tip of the cap to you on all the success you've had. It's amazing.
Thank you.
What, on the show, we obviously with Always Be Testing, we talk a lot about learnings. What are some of your favorite learnings from the client engagements that you've had, and some of the like aha moments for you?
Yeah. I think for us, that Always Be Testing is spot on, especially with our marketing dollars. What should we spend it on? What should we do? What's going to be, a home run? And I think there's a lot of things that have been surprising for us, not even in working with our clients, but in building our own business. So even in the early days, we're like, we'll do giveaways. We're going to try to bolster our newsletter. We're going to try to get people to show up to a webinar. We're going to say, if you sign up for this, if you do this, we'll give you, $100 or top prize, $500. And not a lot of people did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, back in my day, I would have moved a mountain to win $500. I can't believe that this didn't work. So really throwing money at things, evaluating the data and thinking, what do we need to do differently? Why did this work and something didn't. So the giveaways don't seem to work. But what's interesting is starting to think about how do we approach sales in a different way. So I'll give you a great example of a test that we ran that is really, really successful. We built something, a whole process called Expand the Sandbox. And what I mean by that is that on LinkedIn, I have a network and you all have a network. It might be 500 people, it might be 50,000 people, but I have 115,000 followers, something like that now. And with that, that's a sandbox that I have. It's kind of an echo chamber. And there are, 20 million other people that don't know that I exist that I would really like to have know that I exist. So we started this thing where we said, you know what, we're going to go find our core ICP. We're going to find the SVPs at AT&T of the world that we want to get in front of. And we're going to see, do they post on LinkedIn? And if they do, we're going to save them in a list and we're going to comment on their profile, their post a couple of times. We're then going to send them a connection request. We're going to comment a few more times and then we're going to go in for the kill. We're going to say, we would like to sell you something. Would you like to take a meeting? In a slightly more elegant way than that. But what was really cool about this is it worked. So we were able to close a deal with the chief revenue officer of Equifax, who definitely knows our play and has authorized us to share this now. But we did exactly that. We found her in a LinkedIn sales blog. We sent some materials her way, like commenting on her posts, and then just connected, did it again, and then went in for the kill. And I think just some things, like how to stand out, how to be different. Prospecting, sales, marketing doesn't have to be that hard. You just have to do things that other people aren't willing to do.
That's amazing. On the showing up part, obviously got my attention. Is there anything there that you have learned or seen? It kind of reminds me of the gong conversation I had recently. And is there anything that maybe kind of jumped out at you as, wow, people often show up like this when in fact they really need to show up like this?
Yeah, I will say it's interesting. Like this came up on a webinar that I did yesterday, but that one of the things I guess maybe naturally prioritize without knowing it is that it's really important to me that I build connection and rapport and look for any opportunity that I can do that. So as an example, I just posted about this on LinkedIn a little bit ago, 30, 45 minutes ago, and talked about how sometimes we get on calls with our clients and it might be our partners, channel partners, it might be cross-functional partners, whatever. And we get on calls and they aren't on camera, but we are. And so in this particular instance, somebody came on, they said, hey, it was our buyer, a prospective client. And they said, I'm not going to come on camera. I'm eating breakfast, don't mind me. And so what's the norm? What's the standard there? The standard is no worries. Here's what I want to talk to you about. And you're like, cool. Wow. Riveting. But instead, and it's definitely because it's my personality type, I was like, well, wait, now we have to know what you're eating. Tell us what's going on over there. And the person responded and he's like, okay, well, I'm a little embarrassed to say this. Don't tell anybody because I don't often do this, but I totally went to McDonald's today. And we're like, what? And everybody on the Zoom reacts. They start to talk. We're weighing in on breakfast foods, etc. We talk about all of that. And then I say, okay, well, have you had the ultimate though? Have you had the Chick-fil-A chicken breakfast sandwich? And you can see everybody's on mute and they're like, oh my God, it's the best. Yes, love it. And the guy says, I haven't. And we're like, what? And the room erupts, right? We're talking, etc. We ended up signing the deal. And of course, as a result, in our true show me, you know me, SamSales fashion, we sent a little $15 gift card. It was absolutely nothing. $15 gift card to Chick-fil-A. And we said a little something to celebrate our engagement and for you to always remember who funded your first Chick-fil-A chicken breakfast sandwich. Right? And just showing up in a different way. Not only the way that we engage, the way that we build conversation, we build rapport, we pull threads, just build a relationship with these people no matter what role you're in the organization. And that's what I love about our business is that we try to show up in a different way all the time.
I love that. There's so much there.
How hungry are you for Chick-fil-A now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to definitely have some. So no, I love that. And you've seen kind of the magic from a variety of angles, in-house to SamSales to building out a company. For aspiring sales leaders, as maybe cliche as that sounds, is there things that you kind of give people that they kind of need to be aware of or think about if they're kind of on the leadership side from a sales perspective? And I'm assuming there's probably some similarities to what you just shared, but I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah. Are you thinking about do you mean from a leadership perspective of just how to be different as a leader or things that they should be thinking about if they want to start their own business? What's your angle there?
I think maybe more sales leadership as
Yeah.
opposed to just straight sales.
Yeah. So I think one of the most frustrating things to me about sales leadership is that we're often promoted either based on potential and having done nothing really of great accomplishment as an individual contributor, or we've been an amazing individual contributor, we get promoted and we get absolutely no sales training or leadership training whatsoever on what we're supposed to do. We're given a team. It's like when you have a baby, they send you like with a congratulations, whatever blanket and a baby, and they say good luck, and we're like, wait, are you sure? This seems precarious. Something seems amiss. But same thing as a leader, right? You're giving your team, your territory a quota, and you're like, good luck. Good luck figuring
Yeah.
out how to run team calls, how to run
Yeah.
one-on-ones, how to have difficult conversations, how to hire. We don't know any of that stuff.
You're
But
a great IC. Now you have to manage people. Good luck.
good luck. Yeah, we wish you well, and please hit your quota, or we'll fire you. Oh God. Okay, great. Really low stakes there, but I think a couple
Mhm.
of things in terms of being different. I think for me, have always thought about how I feel like we have a responsibility as leaders to create exceptional experiences for the people that are on our teams. So I think life is short. And I think if you even apply those same principles to your friendships, to your relationships, to your marriage, to your whatever, it can pay off in spades. And how awesome for you to be a part of that. So, as an example, we talk about show me you know me all the time at SamSales. It's our trademarked line. And how does that apply to leadership? Well, what do you know about the people that report to you? What do you know about your directs? What do you know about your reps, right? And a lot of people don't know much. They don't know their interests. They don't know their kids' names. They don't know their partners' names, right? And so I think there's an opportunity for us to learn about our people, what motivates them, what are their dreams, what are they working for, what do they do on the weekends? And to that effect, one of the things that I did, in fact, I did it at a previous company, and then I did it again here at SamSales, was I knew that one of our reps was really, really close to their family. So she had a text chain, 7 of them were on it or whatever. And all they did all day was text. They were so, so close. So when it was finally time to promote her, I'd reached out to one of her family members and I said, hey, off the record, we're promoting, your sibling, wanted to let you know XYZ was happening. Can you show up on a Zoom call? It was Blue Jeans back then. I don't even know if Blue Jeans still exists, but can you show up on a Zoom call and I'm going to surprise her? So what I did is I got in cahoots with one of our IT guys. I went in the conference room. I pulled up the Blue Jeans. They were on. They were ready to go. And I turned off the TV. So the feed was still live, but the TV was black. She and I go in the conference room. IT guy comes in and he's like, do you mind if I interrupt for a second? Like, I just need to check some wires. And we're like, sure. And like, he walks by and I'm like, can you believe this guy interrupting our meeting? All staged, of course. And then we throw the TV, we're like talking to her, etc. And then I throw the TV up after the guy leaves and she's like, what's happening? And her family's like, you're getting promoted. And it was just like one of the coolest. I mean, like I still tear up like thinking about that moment. And then we did the same thing here at SamSales because why
Yeah.
not? Why not take something that might be still an amazing thing or an ordinary thing in their life or something they've been working hard on, and why not amp it up? Or to think about that of how you can support them in the things that they want to grow and do. Like, how are you investing in them? We have a rep on our team, Sarah, who has been in one corporate job before and she's now here. And so one of my questions to her today was, do you want to learn how to forecast? Like, we don't forecast here. And thank God I never have to be on a real forecast call ever again. But we don't forecast. Like, we know what we're going to bring in. We have plenty of money saved. We're in good shape. I'd rather do that than ever have to forecast again. But can I teach her something that's going to be valuable to her, at some point when she flies the coop and leaves SamSales, which hopefully she never does. But thinking about those things, I think the final thing, right, is how to run a really effective team meeting. And we've all been with a lot of leaders who run really crappy team meetings. So think like, what do you want to learn? What are you struggling with? Can we bring in guest speakers to talk to you about something? Maybe it's vulnerability. Maybe it's multi-threading. Maybe it's, difficult conversations with, other people in your lives. Like, how do we use our time to make sure that you really look forward to these things? Just a few things there.
Yeah, my mind's spinning because I want to bring all this goodness to our team. And I think there's times when we do this well and there's times when we can improve it. I think there's always room for improvement. And I love it, just inspiring stuff. And it's, you get in the day to day, you're running an agency, you're running a software company, you're running an e-com company. It's easy to not necessarily always invest enough and think of those high standards and show folks that you know them and all of that. So I love the detail and the story of that. It's beyond a good learning. So thank you.
Thanks.
I can't help but go to the right of your slogans and think of the urgent bird gets the worm. Tell us more about that.
I think so. I think there's two things to have been true, right? The show me you know me angle for me, always trying to build rapport and connection with people and show them that I know them. And then I think the other thing is my mom tells us. My mom has since passed, but she told a story that when I was born in 10 minutes. So lucky her. But I was third kid. She'd been through this before, and when I was born in less than 10 minutes, and that she says that for my entire life I've had a firecracker lit under my ass. Go, 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 move, move, move. Speed is the name of the game. Decisive, quick to move. I will say I'm also very intentional decision maker for big things. So, who to marry, what house to buy, things like that. Slow and steady, calculated, really weigh the risks. But for a lot of other things, yeah, I move quickly. And I think the urgency for everything that we do in our lives can be a great differentiator. I think it should be the norm, but it's not. And because of that, it's a differentiator. So two places where I see this as like immediately applicable. When we think about the deals that we chase, right? How quick are we to respond, to send proposals, to follow through, et cetera? And even something so simple as this. A couple months ago, we got an email on a Friday night from one of our clients. Really big deal, enterprise grade, wonderful for us. And it had 6 or 7 questions in it. Great buyer intent questions. Now, that takes a long time to respond to. We have to be thoughtful, do our research, we have to do math, dear God. But the key is, did we respond quickly to say, message received, and here's the ETA when you'll get that back? That small tweak shows that we're on top of our shit, right? We've got our act together, and gives the person an idea of if we receive the email and when we'll get a response back to them. Now, some people might say, that sounds pretty desperate. They're going to see that you're desperate. They're going to smell your commission breath. And I couldn't agree less. I think it is the antithesis to what sellers do these days. And in fact, I think some sellers are slow to respond because they say, I'm in control of the deal and I'm going to show you exactly what that means. And I'm like, man, I hope I never work with you. So that's one thing. How urgent are we to respond? And think about the timing as well. If you get a message from a client, prospective client, at 7:15 in the morning, they're probably at their desk and they're probably available. They're not on meetings, they're not distracted by other things. So if you respond quickly, or if you text back quickly, what an impact you can make. I think about this also for interviewing. So when we think about applying for jobs or submitting our resumes or something like that, we find that there's always a lag between somebody showing interest and then following up with materials. Or perhaps we say, we really liked your resume. Could you send us a writing sample? And then we hear from them in a week and we're like, take care, bye. And it's not that we're not setting expectations around what we expect. Is it important to you to respond quickly, right? 24 hours, same day, I think is a little aggressive, although I would same day it, no doubt. But 24 hours or so, right? Are we responding? Are we getting back? Are we even responding and saying, FYI, I'm back to back tomorrow. I'll have this to you at the end of the day or next morning. That urgency can make a difference. Now, I will also tell you just a quick story here where urgency bit us in the buns. We had a gal that wanted to apply for a job with us and we didn't have any openings, but she kept following up. Finally, we had an opening and we're like, we have an opening. And we didn't hear back from her. And we're like, well, I guess your urgency, ship has sailed. And then 6 days later, we heard back from her and we're like, oh my gosh. And so she gets on the phone and she says, I really appreciate that you guys prioritized work-life balance. That'll come in handy for me and my little boy. And we're like, oh, that's amazing. You have a little boy. How old is he? And he's 6 days old. So the reason she didn't respond is because she was giving birth.
Holy.
We're still, it's been a few years and we still feel really sheepish.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's epic.
So usually it's because the person's just not very urgent. Sometimes it's because they,
Sam, have a heart. My God. Poor woman was giving life.
You bastard.
Wow, that's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, but move your buns. It'll pay off. People will appreciate it. Your boss will appreciate it. Your clients will appreciate it. Your cross-functional partners will appreciate it. Like, I love it.
We like to come up with slogans and T-shirts here at RBL. Maybe "Move your buns" is maybe a good one.
Move your buns. It's a
I
good
like
one.
it. We're coming down the home stretch, Sam. What's a trend or like a thing that's happening in your world, in our space, that you're keeping an eye on, that's coming down the pipeline, that's kind of impacting the way you do your job? What is it, and how are you kind of responding to it?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We have, I feel like, an inverse pull between what's happening with our entire AI movement and what buyers and clients actually want from us. And so you
Hmm.
have everyone is slapping AI on their company name and claiming that they do AI, even if you have nothing. I mean, we might as well be SamSales.ai at this point, even though we're like, oh my God. But it's interesting
Yeah.
because while we do that, and while we're looking for all these ways, just amazing, cool ways to be hyper efficient, we just chat GPT'd how to code something and replicate web pages on our web page that frankly would have cost $3,000 every single time we wanted to do it. Like just some really cool
It's
stuff out there.
insanity. It's insanity.
Yeah. But I think to a lot of organizations, this is now the new silver bullet. So silver bullet 5 or 6 years ago was, using platforms like Outreach, and you have brackets in and you can personalize the name and their company, woo, and make it look like you personalized it. But now you can do that, but also personal things. And it's what I call scaled and veiled. We can scale email communications and we veil that we made the effort. It looks like we did something that we didn't actually do. And I think number one, why would you ever want to represent yourself as a brand that does that? That's deceitful, that's trying to make somebody feel like you made an effort when you didn't. But two, our clients see through that. No matter how good AI continues to be, I don't know that it'll ever replace humor, intelligence, sarcasm, all the things that we bring to the table. And
Yeah.
so your buyers can see through it. And what they're really craving is somebody who makes an effort, somebody who's urgent, who's somebody who gives a shit. If you don't know
Yeah.
Jen Allen, you should follow her. But she has I say this in jest, the patented sales methodology of gas, give a shit. And I think it's hysterical and it's so right, right? That is a trend that I'm seeing, that as we punch the gas on automation across everything,
Yeah.
that I think if we slow down and we build our soft skills and we figure out how to um, ask what somebody's eating for breakfast and know what to do with that next, those are the people that are going to win today.
Yeah, you nailed it. You took the words out of my mouth. Just to be able
Mhm.
to do that and show that empathy and humor and thoughtfulness and giving is really awesome.
And maybe that's like the geriatric millennial. Is that a thing? Elder millennial, I think, is a thing. Maybe
I think
that's the
that's me.
43
I
year
think we're in the
old.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's me. Maybe every 26-year-old is listening to me and saying, "You don't know. Your soft skills ship has sailed. All we care about is automation and AI." And I'll say, "That's all right," and go over to my walker and walk out of the room. But
I think we're of a similar mindset, and I've talked about this a lot regarding our industry. About yes, AI is coming. Yes, we're using it for our internal processes, but to show up as human, to make those influencer and partner marketing relationships happen, does require some human touch, which I think is why we're drawn to it, why it still makes sense. And there's certainly a sales aspect to it all.
yeah,
Whether you're looking at account management or recruiting or convincing a partner to continue to promote a brand. So I definitely think there's a lot of great learnings in what you do and what we do, which is really awesome.
totally.
Um, what do people not know about Sam?
Oh, what do we not know? So I'll give you a weird thing that I've never told. I don't think I've ever told it on a podcast. It's not that spicy. It's a little spicy. My dad, so both my parents have passed away. And my dad used to be buried next to Charlie Chaplin. And so just a cool thing. One, like I'm originally from
Yeah.
Switzerland. Charlie Chaplin's uh, grave site
Yeah.
is just outside Lausanne, Switzerland, which is where my family all hails from. But I went to go back and visit it a couple of years ago, and it was gone. My dad's gravesite was gone, and my husband was coming with me for the first time, and he's like, "Do you think maybe you just don't know where it is?" And I'm like, I know where my dad is buried. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Yeah.
there. And I learned that in Switzerland, unless you pay an exorbitant amount of money, which obviously Charlie Chaplin's parents have or family has, after 25 years, they kick you to the curb, and so they unearth it and then they resell the space. And I was like, where did the remains go? It's just the craziest. I
Oh
know.
my
Imagine
gosh.
not knowing that and showing
What?
up to go visit and there's no one there
Oh
except for
my
Charlie.
God. Oh my God. That is crazy. I feel horrible.
This should be the
Slash,
lead
I had
in.
no idea that happens.
I didn't either. I had no idea, but I
These
mean
capitalist
now
pigs just like cranking through.
it's like SaaS cemeteries or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Um,
recurring business models.
this
Horrible.
is going to be the lead in for your post advertising this podcast. Where is Sam's dad not any longer buried?
Oh, trivia.
My dad died almost 40 or 30 years ago, so I can joke about it now. It's been a minute.
We keep this up, we're going to end up on LinkedIn Lunatics, and then we're done. We're done. Oh, that's amazing. Any segue?
Where do you go with that now? Good luck.
I mean, we just mic drop it and walk out at this point. Go to the rocking chair and point at the Gen Z people. Wow. Favorite book recommendation?
I will. I'll give you a really great one. Book recommendation: Unreasonable Hospitality. Do we know this book?
Nope.
Right.
I love it already.
I know the title makes your heart race.
Yep.
It is by Will Guidara, who was eventually the owner of 11 Madison Park. And if you're a foodie and a New Yorker or just a foodie in general, you know this restaurant, which insane accolades. And I think now they've gone, I don't know if it's vegan or vegetarian, but like my heart breaks. Sorry, veganers and vegetarianers, but
sorry,
yeah,
not me.
I know.
To each their own.
To each their own, right? Not there's anything wrong with that if you're a Seinfeld fan. But just really fantastic book about hospitality, what to do, how to delight your clients. And one of the best lessons I got from it was 95% of your budget should be meticulously managed, and the other 5% should be blown on the most absurd things to delight your clients and make memorable experiences. So I know, I love it so much. And so what are the things that you can do? You know, when's the last time you delighted a customer? What did you do to surprise them or send something that shows you appreciate them? I mean, 100 opportunities for us to do that.
Amen. I love it. What a beautiful thing to end on. And 5% could be a little inspiration of always be testing as well. Always be testing how to delight them.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be checking out that book. And Sam, you dropped some amazing knowledge for everyone, for me, for the audience, for folks that want to find you and learn more. Where can they reach out?
On LinkedIn, where else? But pop over to samsalesconsulting.com, and we have webinars, we have a YouTube channel, we have a lot of free stuff, some not so free stuff. But come check it out and come hang out with us one way or the other. We'd love to meet you.
Beautiful. Awesome to chat with you as always, and hope to see you in person again soon.
Thanks, Sam.